I'm not in that good position to ask a question because I'm not that familiar with the company since I joined Donglin very recently. But it's great that maybe I'm in a good position as the audience to ask you some question maybe.
Actually, first of all, it's a great honor to be here at CRM. And it's also an honor to be on the Forbes 30 under 30. I actually had a conversation with Andy Wall this morning, and we discussed the questions with the answer and back and forth. Unfortunately, he's not here, so I can ask myself some questions, and maybe you can also ask me some questions. I asked and I answer myself, as long as entertains everyone. So for sure, to give everyone a quick background, I spent 12 years abroad, and before coming back to China. So from high school on, I went to France for high school, and then US and UK for universities, and I went to 3 different colleges for my undergrad education, from Southern California to London School of Economics, and my last year at Harvard. And then I worked for 4 years on Wall Street as a banker, and eventually I decided to come back to China and become an entrepreneur. And the first question Andy was going to ask me was why I decided to become an entrepreneur. And so I would answer
that's a very good question.
the question myself. There are several reasons. The official reason I always give is that I had a mentor. I mean, my boss in the bank used to be the CEO of Credit Agricole for North and South America. And I went with him to meet many entrepreneurs and business executives. And the impression he always gave me was that he had a very high regard for entrepreneurs. And I think he said his most admired businessman is Li Ka-shing in Hong Kong, not Warren Buffett. Somehow, I don't know why.
Yeah, that's all the VC firm are very much valued. Yeah.
So
I fully agree with that.
I had very high regard for my boss, and you know, he's 55, and his life lesson is that you should try to become an entrepreneur and not. I mean, I didn't say, hey, being a banker is not good. It's just I can feel that if he had a chance, he would do that. So I told myself, instead of selling the dreams and ideas and the business plan of other companies, why not one day I sell my own dreams and ideas, I would create my own company. Then I told him, thank you very much, my mentor, and for your help. And I decided to go on my own. And after that, I said, great, he gave me the first $1 million RMB as one of the initial funding. I came back to China. So my boss is actually one of the angel investors. When I first came back, and since I didn't live in China for the past 12 years, I didn't have any friends, and I didn't know much about how the business context operates. So at first we tried to create a club of young people with a couple alumni from LSE, and from that we decided to create a kind of an event registration and CRM, turning into a CRM product, and expanded to serve SMEs, including media, like many of the magazines from the Chinese group used our service, and also theaters and non-movie theaters, and also large events, and then to some restaurants and some bars, etc. So more in the lifestyle sector. And in that sense, in the process of developing this platform, actually I believe that many of you have signed up through iCircle, iChannel or Channel for some events, and because Harvard Club uses our product sometimes. And through that process, I came to realize an idea. Actually, because what we were trying to do is a social CRM in the 2C sector. And in the 2C sector in China is very different from the US. And in the 2B sector, we have Northern Light has been very successful in investing in the best B2B.
The 2B sector. Yeah.
2B sector in China.
And also in the US.
Also in the US. In the US, there is Salesforce. But there's a big difference between the US and China. Because in the US, the largest social network is Facebook, and Facebook has lots of portals where you can get data and you can access many of the functionalities. In China, we have WhatsApp, and we have WeChat, and WeChat is very close. We can't get much data from WeChat, and we can do very limited number of things with WeChat. And for 2C kind of a social CRM, what we believe is that if you really want to be successful, you want to become a big company, which is what Donglin wants.
Actually, there is a very interesting topic just a few minutes ago because some people are talking about why LinkedIn is not that successful in China ever since it comes to China. What's your view? What we can learn from that experience, maybe?
First of all, maybe LinkedIn is not localized as well. That's why they rolled out another product called Shitu, and I think Shitu is doing better than LinkedIn in China. And all the social network, actually, what I'm going to turn into is that, I think in order to become very successful in this sector, we need to create our own social network. So in order to become the best or the most powerful, whatever, CRM, you should become the social yourself. That's why we had, when Donglin considered our investment, we already had a social app, but back then it was called iCircle, and it was not the most successful app, to be honest. But from the failure, we learned how to make it successful. We created a second product called Invite, and this Invite has only been online for two months, but has been quite successful in the past 2 months. We just released the official version before it was beta testing. The official version 3 days ago, and we doubled the user base. And our daily active users is still around 25% of the total. And our second day retention rate is about 55%, and after 30 days it's still 25%.
Yeah, maybe another question actually is, what's the difference between, say, like I said, LinkedIn or a few years ago, MySpace, their stories not that successful a while, and also, what's your observation between the Chinese-based entrepreneur and the US-based entrepreneurship, in your view?
First, I'm going to answer the first question, and the second question at the last.
Yeah,
the first question, I want to share my view on a bit of my view on social network. First of all, social network is always recreating or make our existing social relationship offline more efficient online. So it's not creating new relationship or new way of interaction. It's just making our existing interaction more efficient online. There are different kinds of, different products have different core functions. For instance, you have WhatsApp and WeChat. The core functions is information. It's the transferring or passing of information, talking to each other, sending text or PDF or whatever. But in the other realm of the social network which we are in, the core problem we're solving is with who and what. With who to do what? Very simple. First, with who means you have to match efficient, you have to be the most efficient matcher. Exactly, if you want to find a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or a wife, and there is an intermediary, and the software is an intermediary, software has to be the most efficient intermediary. For multiple purposes, if you're only limited on dating, you are limited purpose, right? What social network is doing is matching, and this matching should fulfill all your purposes. Let's say you want to find people who have the same interests, people who have shared professional ideas, people who have date with you, or simply to meet up with friends, etc. What I'm saying is what we are developing, trying to develop, is not social network specific to a certain type of need, but it's more like dating or meetup of Uber. It's more like Uber. So what is about Uber? Uber is efficiency. Efficiency means I click the button and within 10 minutes or 5 minutes, 3 minutes, there's a car responding to my call, and within 20 minutes the car is downstairs, or 15 minutes the car is downstairs. That's not efficiency. I can call any kind of car I want. If I have a luxury car or a simple car, it fulfills different purpose, right? Luxury car, I want to show off, maybe I have a date. I want to take the date out, I want a BMW. The simple car is because I just want to get from A to B. Right? In our social network, in Invite, you can do the same thing. Our current efficiency is about 25% of the invitation our user sends out gets the first sign up within 15 minutes. 70% of the invitation gets first sign up within 6 hours. But this is not where we stop. Our goal is to crush this time to 30 minutes. You would get a full field. Let's say I want to invite 4 people to play shooting balls and arrows downstairs after this meeting. And the 4 people should all sign up within 30 minutes. That's our goal. I actually tried this. Before I started my conversation, I sent out the invitation. I think let's see by now how many people have signed up.
Wow, that's really very quick learner, right?
Okay, 2 have signed up in the past 30 minutes. That's not enough because I asked for 4 people. Our goal, so people would ask why they would use invite to meet people or to create meetups, etc. My answer is, first answer is fast. It's simple. I can do the same thing with WeChat. I can ask 10 friends, 20 friends. I can send out a share on my 朋友圈, right? Maybe ask 20 friends, and the friends, they're not available. They have something else to do. They have another day, blah, blah, blah. And I lose my faith because I asked too many times. And here, when I send this invitation, some people would ask us, are you a social network for strangers, or are you a social network for people who already know each other, like WeChat, or like what? So I tell them we are the lifestyle version of LinkedIn, and it's multi-purpose. You can get any kind of people you want. If you want your friends, you select only viewed by friends. It's like when you share on WeChat, you can select who can view it. We can do the same thing. You can say only friends can view it, or friends of friends. This is like LinkedIn. Or you can say strangers. But for the strangers, we don't just push to any strangers. We have actually developed a search engine, a mini search engine. It's evolving, it's improving over time. How it works is that when you create an invitation, let's say Donglin wants to shoot arrows, okay, wants to play bow and arrows. And it's actually, if you type this in a search engine, like a Google, you type Donglin and bow and arrow. And our engine would search who are the people most likely or most suitable to shoot arrows with you. And depending on how much we have a virtual coin, how much virtual coin you pay, the system will push this invitation to how many users. It's very, very intelligent. It's like the Google ad of everybody, the Uber of dating. So if you pay more money, you get more exposure. Exposure to your friends is free. Exposure to your friends, if you had 1,000 friends, to your friends is free. But you want additional 流量, you want additional exposure, you pay.
Yeah,
very efficient.
Yeah. As Edward just pointed out, it's the entrepreneurs to finding out the pain points. It's the entrepreneurs, the venture capital firms is looking for. Yeah, we are lucky to find the Donglin as our portfolio companies. Yeah. May I know how much minutes we left, and maybe we can leave the final questions for our audience.
We'll leave a few questions for the audience.
Yeah.
If you still want me to answer the Chinese American entrepreneurs first?
Sure.
I can do that. Okay. First of all, I'm not the best person to answer that because I spent 12 years in the US. 12 years abroad, but now I'm back. But I think there's not much difference. Actually, nowadays, many of the Chinese entrepreneurs have studied abroad. And many of them, in creating products, they don't think China they're thinking, I just want to create a product, the next innovation product. It's very simple. In what we are creating, this social network, we didn't copy anybody, we didn't copy America, we didn't copy Europe. We created it from the ground up, trying to solve the problem from its core. And we applied lots of theories we learned from school. Let's say we applied behavioral economics in designing the products. We applied econometrics in analyzing user behavior and designing the search engine, etc. I think the difference now is smaller and smaller. Yesterday I saw the Xu Xiaoping 老师 posted a 朋友圈 posted on WeChat. A new company designed a camera that could flow. It's like a drone air, and it was stabilized by itself. It's designed and developed by a Chinese company. When I saw that, I thought, on this product, China is for sure on the front line in the world. So I don't see actually much difference, but the good thing about the Chinese entrepreneurs nowadays is that they're in the best environment in the world because we have more users. Then in China, app has 10 million users, not a big deal. In the US, it would be a very, very big deal.
Yeah, so for Chinese entrepreneurs, we are lucky.
We're very lucky.
Yeah.
And we also have very good investors like Northern Light and other VCs who are scanning the market every day.
Okay, well, thank you very much. A round of applause for them, please. Thank you.